All right, hello class. Welcome to a lesson by the one and only Matthew and Valerie.
Hi guys. All right, so we're going to start off with question 4. We had 4 and 5, so we'll start off with question 4 and get to number 5. And question 4 was differentiate between the two types of geographic isolation. Now I'm going to take the first type of geographic isolation, and that is dispersal, basically dispersal over a physical barrier followed by colonization. And basically what this means is that some group of the population ends up getting moved. The book example was by a vegetation raft over an ocean to an island. And basically, wherever they get moved, the physical barrier in between the two populations separates them. It doesn't allow for migration, and the other group can't return. And with that, they end up colonizing each place, and it allows for speciation.
And then for vicariance, there's a split because of a new physical barrier in the same range. So there's not necessarily a movement within the population, but a split, like the example was like a road or even like a river or something like that. And so there's that split, and so the population can't really reach each other, and then they evolve and become new populations through vicariance, which actually leads to number 5, which says, in what 2 ways did the results of Knowlton's snapping shrimps study support vicariance? And so what happened was at the Panama Canal, there's the isthmus, and it's funny to say, and they had snapping shrimp on both sides of the isthmus. And so there's 7 species, and they noticed that on either side of the isthmus, there were sister snapping shrimp that were more related to each other, snapping shrimp on the other side than they were on the same side of snapping shrimp, if that makes sense. They weren't as closely related, like DNA-wise, to the shrimp that were on the same side, but they were more related to the shrimp on the opposite side.
Perfect. And then with these shrimp, they also took them and they performed experiments with mating. And the second piece of evidence that supports vicariance comes out of those experiments. Basically, they found that the shrimp that were more genetically related, so the sister species would be the most genetically related, would be more attracted to each other when it came to mating than they would be to a farther distant genetic relative, such as one of the other 7 species on their own sides, or even one of the other species on the other side that wasn't their sister species. However, even though they would be more attracted to a species, they could never mate because they had actually speciated into separate species.
And so because of those 2, it's kind of like living proof that it was like a vicariance. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for joining us. Luckily, we only have 1 video cast this week, so
good luck, everyone. Research papers.
Yeah.